News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. It is truly stunning how horribly Kamala and Joe have done with our economy. And she is held to the fire almost never because she hides from the media. One interview for 16 and a half minutes in 46 days so far. But we know this. The Politico righteously says today, their leftist news outlet, but they said Harris campaign dodges over EV mandate walkback. She won't say, listen to this, she literally was forcing us to buy EVs, even though nobody wants them anymore. At least almost everybody doesn't want them. They're a disaster. They're sitting on the lot losing money. Nobody's buying them. Ford Motor Company just had to write off, I think, $4 billion. They lost $40,000. Listen to this. Ford Motor Company was forced into making more EVs and by Biden-Harris, and they lose $40,000 for every EV they make. Again, they lose 40 freaking grand on every EV they make. That's Kamala and Joe Biden's economic policies. She complimented his economic policies. She said nothing bad about them in her only interview. And showing, as the Wall Street Journal said, she will continue the same policies of Biden. And what has that brought us? Are you ready? Here's what it's bought us. Oh, by the way, she also says she will not say if she still supports reparations, which she said she supported a lot just 4 years ago when she ran for president. She wants reparations for African Americans, and there's more and more and more policies. Ending cash bail for criminals, supporting defunding the police, comparing policing to slavery, comparing ICE to the KKK, saying she wants to abolish ICE, support Medicare for all, free health care for everybody, a total takeover of the health care system. If you like your plan, you will not keep it. No private insurance. If you like it, you'll lose it. And she wants illegal detention centers for illegals to be shut down. She wants to free the criminals into the interior. She thinks we need to start from scratch with ICE. As I said, comparing them to the KKK, supports reparations, total ban on fracking, mandatory transition to electric vehicles, ending fossil fuels, no fracking, forcing us to stop eating red meat consumption, federal ban on plastic straw. I've got all this on audio. I can play it for you if you don't believe me. Any one of these things. Ending private health insurance, letting the people that are in jail, including terrorists and cop killers, vote while in jail. Support taxpayer-funded health care for illegals. Illegals are illegal. She is against border walls. They don't work. They're a vanity project, even though she now shows border walls and says she's tough on the border, which everybody knows she's led the invasion of 14 million illegals. And she's brought in Tren de Aragua, the most vicious gang this side of the hemisphere. They were never here. They are here now in El Paso, in San Antonio, Chicago, New York, Georgia. They're literally all over the country now, thanks to her. She's done a great job. In Miami, she's done a great job of bringing in the most deadly gang on this side of the hemisphere, which wasn't here before. That's what she's done for us. So my questions for you, and by the way, our economic policies, a couple more quick things, and then we're going to go to Gary's call in Mansfield, plus your call at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. For the first time, there are 5 generations in the U.S. workforce at the same time. Again, for the first time ever, there are now 5 generations of Americans at the U.S. workforce place. This is the new normal as Americans, reporter Heather Long reports, live longer and want or need to work longer. It's creating tension. Gen Z will not be promoted as fast as prior generations because it's crowded at the top, quote unquote. Also, this today, an all-time high, 464,000 Americans are now working 2 full-time jobs. 500,000 Americans, apparently the highest number on record, all-time high. 500,000 Americans are working 2 full-time jobs. Also this, 33% of workers plan to retire at age 70 or older or never. That is up from 2021. It went up 7 points higher. It's a tricky situation. Axios reports there are only so many jobs to go around, especially at the higher levels. If you're not moving up the ladder, it's because there's no space for you to move. Wall Street Journal, the American dream feels out of reach for most after, of course, 4 years of Biden, Kamala. Wall Street Journal separately, for 2 job workers, there are not enough hours in the day to stay afloat. People are drowning, and Kamala wants you to vote for her to continue this more of this. By the way, buying homes now. Kamala just released an ad recently saying she'll make buying a home affordable. But buying a homes were affordable before she and Joe Biden were in charge. Homes were affordable before she started. They were $1,700 a month for the average home in America mortgage. Now it is $3,300. No matter what she bribes you with or gives you to try to get in the house, you cannot afford the payment for most Americans. That's where we're at. Whose economic policies do you trust more, Trump or Kamala? Do you agree with EV mandates and reparations like Kamala? Do you agree with her? Do you want EV mandates and reparations? Do you trust her on any of her positions? What has she done to show you that she really has changed on every single position she's held for her entire political career of her adult life? And what issues has she flip-flopped on? And which ones is she sticking to? Do you even know? Does anybody know what issues she's flip-flopped on and which ones she's not? Does anybody know what she's serious about or what she's not? She tells us her values haven't changed. Doesn't that mean that she's still the same she was 4 years ago? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 4 lines open. Chime in right now. 800-288-9227. Gary in Mansfield, you're on WBAP. Hello.
Oh, thanks for taking my call.
Welcome.
You know, this whole economic thing is a big cluster, right? But it started, and one of the ways it started was when Biden stopped the pipeline, right? So we have high energy costs. And if you look at any time America's been prosperous, we've had abundant low energy costs. We cannot have a prosperous economy on EVs or windmills or solar panels. The electrical cost is 4 to 5 times greater.
Correct.
The other thing is food prices. If you stop fracking and you do away with natural gas.
Yes, which what she wants to do. Yes.
Oh, if you look at ammonium nitrate fertilizer, right? It makes crops produce twice as much food
right
per acre. So what happens is if you do away with natural gas, you're gonna make food prices double, triple, quadruple. Not to mention, you're gonna probably have hundreds of millions of people die because there won't be enough food for them. These people are freaking idiots.
Yes. Yeah, they're going to destroy us and make them dependent on us for survival. And that's what they want. Yep. They want more dependency and more power for them. That is exactly right. Gary, I appreciate your great call tonight. Thank you. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. I'm going to go through boom, 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 real simple, real short list of her policies, Kamala's policies that she supports, crazy leftist policies. I'm going to ask you which ones you think she's flip-flopped on and which ones she is sincere and still holding them. And on any of them that she's flip-flopped on, do you actually believe that she means it? Because I don't think there's one issue she still stands by, except for Bidenomics works, and she's going to continue that. And illegal invasion is great, and she's going to continue that. 800-288-WBAP, and she will not deport any of the illegals she's brought in. 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. You'll also hear Liz Cheney saying that Kamala is a radical leftist right before she said tonight that she is endorsing Kamala. Amazing what hatred of Trump does to your logic. That is next on the Chris Krok Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws, and I would enforce our laws as president going forward. And I actually, as Attorney General, informed California law enforcement that ICE detainers are not mandatory. I disagreed with it, and that's why I issued that policy for the sheriffs and the district attorneys of California, telling them that these were not mandatory.
Absolutely. We don't want to work with ICE. We want ICE's KKK. ICE needs to be abolished and start over from scratch. I can play you all this. In fact... and I can play you audio of her saying no more police in the schools, get them out. No more militarized assistance for the cops. No militarized policing anymore. We don't want military style police going into a school shooting to take out a terrorist. We don't want a military gear for cops to go in and face to face with a terrorist who's shooting up, God forbid, downtown Dallas or New York City or something. No, we don't want military gear for them. Just the terrorists. They'll get it. Our guys won't have it. That's what Kamala says. She also has several other positions. Are you ready? Abolishing ICE, decriminalizing illegal crossings, defunding the police, mandatory gun buybacks. They confiscate all of our guns, all of them. Nationalizing energy, banning fracking, banning offshore drilling, abolishing the filibuster so that you can get anything through with only 50 Democrat votes. You don't need 60 to go over the threshold anymore. Just get 50. No bipartisanship. Just shove it through. 51 votes. Supporting the Green New Deal, which she, by the way, co-authored a bill about the new Green Deal and wanting it with Bernie Sanders. Ending private health insurance, no more health care, free health care for illegals and everybody else, mass amnesty for illegals, no more death penalty, abolish all prisons, end cash bail, end mandatory minimum sentences, impose carbon tax on all of us, child gender reassignment surgery and hormone replacement theory, and prison sex changes that we pay for. What do you say to that? Do you agree with EV mandates that she still apparently holds? She won't say any answers about it anymore. Do you agree with reparations, which Kamala supports? Do you agree with the EV mandates and reparations like Kamala? Do you trust her on any of her positions? What has she done to show you that she really has changed? Other than tell you, I have the same values. I have the same values. That's literally what she said in the interview. Let me make sure I get this exact quote. My values haven't changed. That's it. My values haven't changed. I agree. I believe your values haven't changed. You said that several times during the CNN interview. So do you agree with EV mandates and reparations like Kamala? Do you trust her on any of her positions? And what has she done to show you she really has changed? And what issues has she flip-flopped on? Which ones is she sticking to and not flip-flopping on? Do you know? Does anybody honestly know what she actually believes or what she really thinks? Or do you think she's just becoming overnight whatever she thinks will win? I believe when if Trump handles her properly in the debate by, saying, why have you changed this? Why have you changed that? Why have you changed this? You've never explained it. We explain it tonight, and then she won't. And then you come back, and when you get your next turn, you go, you still haven't explained why you've changed radically on this. You haven't explained. You never have changed. You never have said. You said your values haven't changed. I believe you. I believe your values haven't changed. You still want to abolish ICE. You still want an illegal invasion. You still want health care paid for by us. You want illegals to have free health care. You want it all. And I think she'll fall apart the more she is forced to explain herself, because she can't. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. What issue has she flip-flopped on? Which one is she sticking to? Do you even know? Does anybody know? Also, in the meantime, we have Liz Cheney tonight is saying that she is endorsing Kamala. But here's what she said just a few years ago. Listen to this.
as somebody who is a centrist. And in one fell swoop here, he has put somebody on the ticket whose voting record in the Senate is to the left of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. So I think that, the American people are going to look at the substance of this. They're going to look at what she stood for in the past. They're going to look at what she said during the primary election. And it's very clear. She is a radical liberal. She's somebody that has said we ought to spend $32 trillion on Medicare for all. If you look at her record as well in California, she did, in fact, essentially ban gun sales with executive action. And she threatened during the primaries to do the same thing if she's elected, if she All
right, that's Liz Cheney just a few years ago. Tonight she endorses Kamala because she wants a radical liberal left to the left of Bernie Sanders as president now. So that if you want to listen to people that are Republican, to say they're Republicans and want to vote for Kamala, well, there's your prime example. Okay, lots of things here. Trump's chances of winning are now, the election is now up to 58%, according to Nate Silver, the revered liberal Democrat pollster. Trump has a 58% chance of winning the race now, and it went up from a couple points less yesterday and 5 points advantage several days ago. Now it's up to 18-point advantage. It's stunning. Absolutely stunning. What happens? The chance of Harris winning the popular vote but losing the election, the Electoral College, which will, means she loses the election, has risen to 18% chance. Every single day. There's no bounce. She got no bounce. There will be no bounce. And she's starting to go downward and trend downward, not just for sometimes, but a lot, little by little, every day in Pennsylvania and Georgia, the two swing states she needs, and many other swing states. Not all of them, but many of them. You have CNN pollster David Shalane warning Harris polls are showing a troubling sign. Non-college white voters in Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin by double digits. Biggest leads in Georgia among white voters with no college. He's scoring 71% to Harris 27%. Wisconsin, she nabbed 41% support compared to Trump's 54% support. This is bad, says the CNN pollster. I got more for you on this next, but also coming up next, I want to get into this. Harris debate prep is reportedly going sideways. Hear how and why next on the Chris Krok Show at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227 on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Kamala Harris is in New Hampshire. It kind of became news this week. No details. Northampton, New Hampshire, at a brewery, Northampton. And yet and it's a New Hampshire event. Northampton happens to be in New Hampshire. We're getting listener calls, eyewitness accounts that buses on Route 1 are coming in from Massachusetts, full of Massachusetts people, one would presume, going to the event. Sue Polidor, one of our listeners, witnessing this on Route 1 this morning. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jack. I so happened to have an appointment in Hampton, and I was greeted with this lovely event. Lots of yellow buses from the Yankee line. I must have counted at least half a dozen of them. And as I approached the area where the brewery is, the Department of Transportation created a parameter using just about every single truck they have in the area.
Okay, so that is New Hampshire earlier this week on a Kamala visit. And literally you have local talk radio listeners saying they're seeing buses coming in from Boston, Massachusetts, being bussed in so that you can see a big crowd that supposedly is coming from New Hampshire. It is not there. Now today, this also comes in from CBS Boston, saying Harris is bussing in hundreds of people to make it look like she has support. Here's a little piece of that CBS Boston report from New Hampshire.
Well, behind me, hundreds of invited Harris supporters are leaving and boarding shuttle buses. This was a departure for Kamala Harris, leaving toss-up state.
Okay, so that's just a quick snippet from it. But, dude, she's literally bussing in hundreds of people, according to CBS Boston, from Boston to New Hampshire. So these are not New Hampshire voters. They can't be. They're in Boston. They're liberal Democrat Kamala supporters. How easy is it in a population of Boston Metro, which is an insanely Democrat liberal, as you know? I mean, they put in Pocahontas in office. My gosh, she's almost as liberal as Kamala. According to GovTrack, in her years as a senator, she's extremely liberal, but she's not as liberal as Kamala. Stunning, huh? But anyway, they're busing in these diehard liberal Democrats that are probably volunteers for the Democrat Party in Metro Boston. How easy would it be to get a couple hundred hardcore Democrat volunteers when this is their faith, this is their religion? So they're going to be there, and they're going to go in, and they're going to make her look good, even though they don't live there. At all. They're getting free shuttles in there. It's stunning, isn't it? That's two separate reports of two separate Kamala events of busing in hundreds of people from out of state. Freaking crazy. Oh, Georgia saw the same thing. Atlanta, reportedly there were buses from Atlanta going downstate to these rural, you know how she was going to rural areas last week in Georgia for rallies? Those were, I saw reports. I have it on my Twitter feed. You can see it yourself. It is not made up. It is true. It's reported by the media. Buses bust in from Atlanta to go a couple hours south to an event that's nowhere near them to populate the area and make it look like, oh my gosh, look at this. Rural Georgia's on fire for Kamala and her socialist Marxist policies. Okay. Meantime, isn't that stunning? Meantime, Trump doesn't bust in anybody. Now, look, rallies don't mean you're going to win. Ask Trump. He finally admitted today in an interview that he lost by a whisker. He literally said that. He didn't say I won. He said I lost by a whisker. He's obviously listening to what they're telling him. Stop doing that crap. It makes you look bad. If you want to win, do this. Even if you hate it and you despise it, say it. Or don't say it. You don't have to even say it. Just don't say what you're going to say. Anyway, she is at debate camp now. Kamala is at debate day camp, and reportedly it is going sideways. She has, quote, she's a little rusty. And on the debate stage, as strategy sessions have careened sideways, according to Notice, a NOTUS news outlet that is reputable, according to the Daily Mail, and one of my buddies, Eric Erickson, a massive blogger that Rush used to quote all the time. Notice that Harris is a little rusty on the debate stage. Strategy sessions are careening sideways when Harris focus too narrowly on minute details, effectively trailing the sessions. She began preparing debating 3 weeks ago. She's joined by D.C. lawyer Karen Dunn, policy aide Rohini Kazul, brother-in-law Tony West, campaign chief of staff Sheila Nix, campaign co-chair Cedric Richmond, longtime California political strategist. Make sure you get that socialist Marxism in that you support still to this day. Your values haven't changed. Sean Clegg, and Philippe Reines, the former Hillary aide, he was a stand-in for Trump in her debate preparations. Good. He can lose. She can lose again to Trump. This time it's not going to be cringeworthy Kamala, cringeworthy, what's her name? Can't remember her name anymore. Hillary. It's going to be cringeworthy Kamala. Here's my question for you on this at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Lines wide open. We got 4 or 5 minutes for you to chime in, so get on the horn now. How well do you expect Kamala to perform on Tuesday's debate? How well do you expect her to perform on Tuesday's debate? I expect her to do slightly poorly. Slightly poorly. Not horribly, not like a train wreck. It could be that, but I'm not going to say that because I don't think so. She's going to have some highs, but I think overall it'll be slightly poor. And that will continue to be the downfall of her candidacy. She has been totally kicked square in the you-know-whats, in this case in the ovaries, by not being allowed to keep the mics unmuted. She needed to shout over him, not shout over him, but say, I am speaking. Or, that's a racist. Or you're racist. That kind of stuff in the middle to just jab him in the shiv him in the kidney and to get him off balance and to get him being defensive and heated, mad, and bait him, he will be sitting there. Biden baited him. Biden tried to do it to him, and she'll be even nastier. She is so freaking nasty. She'll call him a racist, a rapist, and a convicted criminal, and she's the answer. She's a prosecutor, and he will not be allowed to say anything. He will not. Sometimes we'll have some expressions that are freaking awesome and hysterical. Other times it'll be just fine. Other times it'll be a little bit like, dude, don't do that. He'll say some things sometimes that are not good, but it won't be anything bad anymore. He's learned his lesson. He did a great job with Biden. He won that one handily. He wants to win this one. It's his only chance. He knows it. And nobody is more rehearsed in interviews and such than Trump is. True, he hasn't had a debate in, 4 years. But he's gone through 2 rounds of debates. Kamala went through 1 and failed. She got no votes in the primary for Democrats, not 1 vote. She had 0.0 support in South Carolina, heavily black.
0.0.
Literally, she had 0.0 in the polls in heavily black South Carolina. White liberal leftist Joe Biden was totally at the top. So here she comes now with no debates in 4 years, and when she had them, she got her butt whooped by Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi is coaching Trump, and that's going to be incredible for her assistants because she knows how to defeat her. She kicked the crap out of Kamala on the debate stage 4 years ago. Stunningly. Now, how well do you expect Kamala to perform at Tuesday's debate? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Too much preparation, the Daily Mail says, can be dangerous. Notice also reports the team is working to make sure she remains calm and presidential on the debate stage. Maybe she can keep her headphones in, her AirPods in, so that she doesn't have to answer questions like she did on Air Force 2 with her phone in her hand, pretending to be talking to somebody on her headphones, her AirPods, when the phone had nothing on it. It was off, like it wasn't, didn't have anything on the screen. According to reporters, that are running through full-length mock debates to be sure she's prepared and her talking points are ready. However, Biden participated in rigorous debates for 9 days, and he totally failed. And she has a mixed debate record, the Daily Mail says, at times coming off perfectly poised and prepared, as she did when she attacked Biden during the primary debate about his remarks about segregationists. She's also stumbled and got her butt whooped by Tulsi Gabbard. Now, Dan in Commerce, you are on WBAP. What do you got?
Hey, Chris, thanks very much for joining the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that Trump needs to very simply use all the government statistics against Kamala because those she cannot dispute.
Right.
Coming out of the Biden administration.
That's right.
Themselves.
Right. That's exactly right.
And one thing that needs to be clear.
And, sir, and her own words. Her own words, my values haven't changed. I support reparations. I support abolishing ICE. Go ahead.
Well, things that, the number one thing that matters is food and gas prices.
Yes.
The inflation rate, they're bragging that it's down under 3%, but the general population do not understand that's just in the last 12 months.
But it's also right now what you're bragging about is double what it was the day Trump left office. It's double. It was 1.4% under Trump. It's about, 2.8% now?
Yes, but if you take the last 3 years, the inflation rate combined under Biden-Harris is 14.6% up in 3 years. Okay, let's look at the 3 years from Trump, the exact same time frame, 5.7. So inflation rate, generally speaking, is going to go up some amount every year under any president.
Well, a little bit is healthy. Like when the day Trump left office, it was 1.4%. That's a healthy inflation number.
Well, but again, the 1 year look back doesn't describe how prices are up 20%.
Well, I mean, all you got to do on that is say everything is increased. The average of all increases across the board: housing, cars, insurance, mechanics, grocery prices, electricity is 20%. You have put a 20% tax on the people that was not there 4 years ago. And you took my 1.4% inflation rate, and 2 years later you made it go to 9.1%. Now you brag that it's double what it was the day I left office. You soared it into high skies 2 years after you started, and then you brag about it still being double what I left.
Yeah, but her response is going to be, but now my inflation rate's down under 3%, which sounds good.
His is going to be, that's double what I left it at. Yours is down now. You're leaving it at 3 or just under 3. I left it at 1.4. You've doubled it, and you're bragging about doubling inflation under yourself right now?
Yeah.
How's that good?
Well, they tripled it 3 years compared to Trump.
Right. All right.
So,
cool. What else?
Again, that's just
anything
one
else?
example of their stats. They need to just slam them over and over again with their own stats.
Yeah. Appreciate your call, Dan. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good night. You too. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number. How well do you expect Kamala to perform on Tuesday's debate? 800-288-9227. Can you believe it's 5 days away now? I don't know. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 6 days away. Who's counting? Also coming up next, we're going to get into a little bit here. We got... more shocking claims from new Secret Service whistleblowers. That is coming up next on the Chris Krok Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227.
Most of the agents who were there at that rally in Butler were not Secret Service agents. They were, in fact, Homeland Security agents. And get this, most of those Homeland Security agents, the only training that they received was an online webinar, a 2-hour online webinar. And I'm told that about half the time, the sound to the webinar didn't even work. So think about this. The President of the United States, former President of the United States, Donald Trump, is sent out on stage. Most of the people there aren't trained. They're not qualified. They only got a webinar training, and even that didn't work.
And this from Tucker Carlson's show.
Now that are huge events. We talked briefly about COVID. I think it came out of a lab. That's one of the biggest events in history. Oh, that's so passé. Who wants to talk about that anymore? Assassination attempt on Trump. Isn't that weeks ago? That's old news. We don't even talk about that anymore. Blowing up Nord Stream, some cockamamie story. Yeah, a few people in a sailboat. Oh, it was Ukrainians. Oh, it was this. Oh, it was, this is part of, we have no attention span. We have complete lying from the government. We have secrecy and confidentiality. So we never actually resolve any of these issues because it's very hard to have a systematic, methodical discussion where one discusses and then where there's a response. The thing that gets me about Washington is they don't feel they have to respond to anything. And you watch the spokespeople, Matt Miller at the State Department or Kirby in the White House, they smirk right in your face to tell you, you are nothing. We can tell anything to you. Do you understand? I mean, that's my interpretation.
I agree. That is Columbia University professor Jeffrey Sachs talking about the Trump assassination attempt. The government is smirking in our face. This was a Tucker Carlson show, and he is prof there, as I said, economist and prof at Columbia. He was a guest on Tucker's show. So here you go. This is really amazing what Josh Hawley said. He's talking to the whistleblowers. Imagine 1,000 people logging onto Microsoft Teams at the same time after being informed at the last minute everybody needed to log in individually, he said. That's what literally the videos were given to them to prepare them for the Trump rally where the assassination attempt happened. Once it got rolling, the Secret Service instructor couldn't figure out how to get the audio working on the pre-recorded videos, the whistleblower said, which I'm told are the same videos as last year. All told, they restarted the videos approximately 6 times, and the content was not helpful. And nothing new and nothing improved since the assassination attempt on former President Trump. Other HSI agents said they only received one PowerPoint presentation for training. So this is your government. This is the Secret Service, and everything you're being told to this very moment is a lie. According to every whistleblower, every expert, everything, nothing's been fixed, and nothing will be fixed, apparently. So that's incredible. 800-288-WBAP is our number. That's 800-288-9227. Do you trust the Secret Service to protect President Trump? I sure as heck don't. Do you feel Trump is less protected than Kamala and Joe? You betcha. 110%. These people hate Trump. They don't want to physically kill him with their own hands, but they want to withdraw their hand as much as they can without getting in trouble, without making it obvious, so that they literally, I don't think they're trying to kill him per se. Some people do. I think they laugh at him, mock him, and hate him. So like, yeah, whatever. Just phone it in, do the least you can. Who cares? It's Trump. Screw him. Biden, as you know, told the press yesterday, quote, the Secret Service doesn't let me go into the crowd. Quote, it's too dangerous. They won't let him go into crowds at rallies anymore after the Trump shooting. So here's the thing. I believe that. And you know what that means? Biden has certain rules. Trump does not. And because I think they care a lot more about Biden and Kamala. I think they very, very much do. You know what we're going to find out one day? We're going to find out how many were assigned from the Pittsburgh office to Kamala and to not a Dr. Jill, a.k.a. Nurse Jill, on that same day at the same events, the similar events in Pennsylvania nearby. And you're going to find, I believe, that there's a lot more official, real Secret Service agents guarding those two ladies and very few, if any, guarding Trump. And last but not least, one last little tidbit from Josh Hawley from the Whistleblowers. The site lead agent was known to the Trump campaign to be inexperienced. The lead site agent was known to be inexperienced, ineffectual, and frankly incompetent at their job. I'm also told by the whistleblowers that on that day she was not enforcing the normal security protocols. She was not checking people's IDs. She did not use Secret Service agents. Most of the agents of the day there on that day, the day there, were not Secret Service agents. They were Homeland Security agents. There you go. There you go. Exactly what I was saying, what I think. All right, coming up next on the Chris Krok Show at 11:04. Trump Town Hall in place of the debate that Kamala refused to do tonight on Fox. And a lot more information on the school shooting today in Georgia. It's not good news, but it is what it is. And we're going to debate on that so much. You don't want to miss this. Is taking guns away the answer? Huh? If not, what is the answer? I'll tell you.